Bob Odenkirk's Hutch Mansell is back, and this time with Nobody 2, he's trying to take his family on a healing vacation after the chaos of the original film. But instead of relaxing, he ends up entangled in a backwater amusement park's criminal underbelly, facing corrupt sheriffs, a drug smuggling operation, and a wonderfully unhinged Sharon Stone as the villain. I don't think it's as good as the original film, but I did have a damn good time with it. So in this explained analysis, I'm going to be giving you my breakdown of Nobody 2, discussing the full plot details, the ending, a potential Nobody 3, and much more. There will be spoilers in this video, so if you haven't watched the film yet, then I would recommend checking it out before watching my analysis. Before I get into it though, if you want to see more on upcoming releases like Nobody 2, then don't forget to support this upload by giving it a like rating and subscribing to the channel. But without further ado, let's dive into my explained video for Timo Tjahjanto's Nobody 2. So the original Nobody was the brutal action thriller released in 2021, and it was written by Kolstad, the mind behind the John Wick series. It starred Bob Odenkirk as Hutch Mansell, a former assassin living a quiet, mundane life until he's pushed too far and returns to his violent ways. Given its intense action and compelling lead, it's no wonder the film resonated with audiences and it was turned into an unexpected hit. Now, 4 years later, Hutch is back in Nobody 2, and once again the wrong guy gets pushed too far. This time around, Hutch is just looking to relax and spend some quiet time with his family in a nostalgic American resort town. Co-writer Kolstad, back for the sequel, clearly shows visual and tonal nods to National Lampoon's Vacation, Home Alone, and the John Wick franchise. But coming to what happens in the new film, it opens with another tense interrogation of Hutch Mansell and another mystery person by two agents. This functions again as a framing device, then rewinds to events a few days earlier. Once we do go back, we find out that 4 years on from taking on the Russian mob, Hutch is saddled with a $30 million debt, relentlessly carrying out global assassination hits to pay it off. His life with his family also takes a toll though, as his wife Becca, played by Connie Nielsen, and their children in Brady and younger daughter Sammy feel increasingly distant. In an attempt to reclaim family time and reconnect, Hutch promises Becca that he'll leave the Nobody persona behind and declares a family vacation to Wild Bill's majestic Midway and water park in Plummerville, the one place he and his brother Harry visited as kids. Becca cautiously supports it, and if it's a chance for them to finally spend some happy family time together, she'll take it. They eventually arrive with Hutch's dad, Christopher Lloyd's David, hoping for nostalgia and healing. It turns out that Plummerville's charm hides a seedy underbelly that's already brittle around the edges. At the park arcade, Brady's newly won plush is destroyed by a bully. While Sammy is slapped by an attendant while trying to leave, Hutch's temper ignites once again. After getting his family out of the arcade, he turns back, brawling with the guards in an over-the-top way, wielding a whack-a-mole mallet and slamming someone into a pinball machine while the song Come Out and Play blasts in the background. His violent defense draws the attention of the park owner, John Ortiz's Wyatt, and the corrupt Sheriff Abel, who secretly orders his men to eliminate the Mansells. The next day on a boat, Hutch is ambushed by Abel's men and loses his pinky finger in the chaotic melee with them. On the phone to his brother Harry, he reveals that the park is just one node in a larger bootlegging operation, and the real mastermind behind it is Sharon Stone's Lendina, who controls the corrupt sheriff there. When Wyatt confesses to Lendina that he might be short on payment, she retaliates by ordering Abel to kidnap Max, the boy who bullied Brady. Hutch eventually stokes the flames by burning the remaining money Wyatt needed and scarring Abel in the process. After this happens, Hutch and Max retreat to an old lodge, and Brady and Max make up for their fight in the arcade. Meanwhile, Becca confronts Hutch about breaking his vacation promise, but reassures him that she still stands by him. After what happens and Lendina's control of Wyatt ultimately teams up with Hutch, and together they, Harry and David, rig the park for her arrival. In true Home Alone style, they booby trap rides, lay other traps, and plan defensive counters. This brings us to the end of the film, which features the chaotic action we all wanted from a Nobody sequel. When Lendina and her henchmen arrive, all hell breaks loose at the resort. First, Abel fails to negotiate and is killed in all the chaos. Then Harry fends off henchmen at the lodge, Wyatt is wounded by a gunshot, David is knocked unconscious, and the Mansells hold their ground. The fight all ends with Lendina personally attacking Hutch, only for Becca to tranquilize her, subverting expectations and asserting her own strength in the Nobody series. David, still recovering, triggers an explosion that destroys the park, winnowing Lendina and her goons in a fiery finale. We ultimately come back to the opening scene, which is what the original film did, and this time it's Hutch, Becca and the dog from the park being interrogated. Like the original film, Hutch is released unharmed alongside Becca and the dog. We finish the movie back home where the Mansells watch a homemade visual album of their trip, interspersed with carnage and the absurd events. It also features 2 new furry members in Lendina's dog and the park's wolf dog. So at its core, Nobody 2 is about a man trying and mostly failing to balance the person he was with the man he wants to become while dragging his family through the chaos of that conflict. Hutch wants to be a good dad and husband, but being Nobody is the only thing he's ever been truly good at. The family vacation is his attempt to fix things, but it only works once he stops pretending he's normal. Also, to put a twist on things, Becca tranquilizing Lendina means she becomes part of Hutch's world instead of standing apart from it. So the movie could be suggesting that true connection happens not when you hide who you are, but when the people who love you accept the messy, dangerous, and complicated truth. The amusement park setting is further symbolic as well, a place where chaos is disguised as fun, where things are supposed to be safe but are always teetering on disaster. It's the perfect metaphor for Hutch's life, as he wants to control the outcome of this vacation, of his family's future, and of his double life. But we ultimately learn that nobody's really in control. Everything is just barely held together, just like his sanity, his marriage, and the park itself. Hutch keeps doing his hits to pay off his debt, and it's not just financial, as it's emotional, moral, and existential. He's useful to others only because he's dangerous, but that usefulness is destroying his soul. Even the family vacation becomes about using his violence to protect his family. So as a whole, Nobody 2 is about how we wear masks to protect our families, but sometimes that mask becomes our only face. Now, although Hutch and Becca make it out at the final showdown safely, the film does drop a few hints about where another sequel might go to. The biggest loose end is the debt Hutch still owes to the barber and the US government, so he's got a lot more to do before he can truly walk away free. Hutch's position as an auditor opens up a world of possibilities, especially with potential sequels that could explore different types of missions too. Additionally, Nobody 2 highlighted the connection between Hutch and his family, showcasing Harry and David's extended participation in his affairs. Another film could delve deeper into those dynamics, as for example, Nobody 2 suggested that David took Harry and Hutch on a mission which involved their earlier experience in Plummerville, implying a richer backstory for his character and his connection to the same line of violent work. A sequel could delve deeper into David's life as a retired agent, focusing on his motivation to ensure his sons grow into better men than he was. Still, it seems that the most probable direction for Nobody 3 is to delve deeper into the dynamics between Hutch, his wife, and their children. Becca appears to be torn about their relationship, offering a greater opportunity for the sequel to explore more of their shared history. Additionally, his son's development in the second film emphasises his struggle to avoid repeating his father's pattern of violence, which could be further spotlighted. Through all this, Hutch needs to find a way to control his life and accept that it's possible to leave the violent side of his life behind. And in doing so, he can help his children have a more peaceful and hopeful future and not repeat the cycle of what happened with his father and him. But that was my breakdown and analysis for Nobody 2. Overall, the film knows exactly what it is. It's a darkly funny, ultra-violent sequel that turns a broken man's family vacation into a massacre. It's fun, stylish and brutal, and if you like the first one, you'll enjoy this ride too. It doesn't quite reach the sharpness of the original, as the structure mirrors the first film almost too closely, and the middle act bogs down trying to blend too much emotional repair with plot setup. But I think that the crucial elements of the film, those that we enjoyed with the original Nobody, were mostly delivered on. Bob Odenkirk is still the perfect blend of a worn-down dad and controlled killer, and his ability to switch from quietly frustrated to explosively lethal remains the soul of the franchise. His expressive face, equal parts regret, exhaustion, and restrained rage, does so much without him saying a word. The action is again gleefully violent, and director Timo Tjahjanto leans into the cartoonish brutality of it a bit more this time around. The fight scene in the arcade using a whack-a-mole hammer and the lodge shootout that ends with the explosion are both bonkers, but they're presented in a fun and inventive way. And the family isn't just window dressing this time, as Becca gets more agency and the kids feel like a bigger part of the chaos too. It's oddly sweet in a violent film like this, seeing a dad just wanting his family to like him again. It will be interesting to see if they do another film in the series, because both films have been great thus far, and based on what I talked about, and if Nobody 2 is successful, then I'm sure we might get one. We'll have to see, but I'm down to see more from this franchise in the future. But I do hope this breakdown did help some of you guys understand the film and the main details a bit better, and overall, I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts on it, so don't forget to let me know down below in the comment section. For more videos on upcoming film releases like Nobody 2, then subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Also, if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like, rating, and follow me on social media via the links in the description. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been Cortex, and as always, make some noise.